Lovin' Rand here. Today I'm going to tell you about the single biggest thing I did to increase the comfort in our house here. Plus, this is kind of a review for the Aprilaire 500M humidifier we installed here, which, spoiler alert, that's probably the biggest thing we did for increasing the air quality comfort here in this house. And I'm starting the video up here in the dining room oven just because, well, we got good lighting. We're going to go downstairs here in a minute and look at the unit. It's kind of dark and, scary down there, right? And then also I wanted to talk about what's behind my shoulder here with the thermostat here. That is kind of I won't say a big part, but it really helps with the system. So real quick backstory, Kevin, while we're looking at the thermostat here. About a year ago here, I started having some really nasty nosebleeds, just like absolutely horrendous. And I'd go to blow my nose and it would just be blood, just nasty, right? And then looking at the I already had this thermostat installed, so I could see the humidity that was in the house here, and it was like in the high teens. So we're talking humidity, 16, 17, 20%. It's dry, very, very dry in this house. And the way the house is made, I have no idea. Whatever it is, everyone, very, very dry house in the winter. So I started doing a little looking, and I found the Aprilaire humidifiers. Decided to go that route of it instead of, say, maybe like a tabletop unit or one of the floor models, something like that. The thing with those, Evan, you have to fill those up frequently, right? Just seems like a lot of work. And plus, when you start getting some of the larger models, they get to be expensive. Most of your tabletop ones, maybe $50 to $100, something like that, right, Evan? You get the floor models, you're looking at probably, $100 to $200. At that point, everyone, you're looking at the price of an Aprilaire humidifier. So you might as well just put one on the furnace. Yeah, put it on, and I don't quite want to say forget about it, but you put it on and you don't have to sit here filling it with water and all that good stuff all the time. Anyway, wanted to talk about this thermostat here as well. This is a Lennox, I think it's a 7500 or something like that. I don't remember the exact model number, but this does allow me to control the humidity, and it has an outside temperature sensor as well. I'm not going to claim to be an expert on this oven, but my understanding is the humidity here is based on the outside temperature. So the thermostat here changes the humidity in the house here based on the outside temperature. So as the temperature goes down, the humidity percentage goes down. As the temperature goes up outside, it will raise the humidity in the house. And again, I'm not going to pretend to understand the whole reason behind that one. That's just apparently that's the best way to do it. So again, I have this thermostat one set up to control the humidity. So if we go into our settings here, humidity, and I've actually got it at plus 15% here. It's actually worked out really good. I have another little quick story here. The wife had nose surgery here. She had was a deviated septum, and her, I forget whatever the technical term is, her turbinates. Yeah, thank you, dear. Her turbinates were basically closed off in her nose, so she had surgery to open those up. And one of the things they said you want to do is make sure you run a very humid house. So I've actually got it at plus 15% humidity here at the moment. So that's the reason for that. But again, this will control the humidity. So anyway, let's go downstairs in the basement where it's dark and scary, and I'll show you the unit here. Okay, I went down in the basement here. Here's the actual unit itself, and I've been running this for just a little over a year here now, and I gotta say I am exceptionally happy with how this is working here. It just humidifies the air in the house, everyone, and it just makes it so much more comfortable. You folks just would not believe the difference here. And again, last year I was having an awful time with nosebleeds. No problem at all with that here this year. Cold and stuff like that have definitely given me some problems, but not the air quality in the house. So this has been really nice. And again, the beauty of this one is it's on your furnace, so it does the entire house. So I don't like have just a little unit in the dining room. Okay, the dining room's humid. What about the rest of the house, right? A couple things to note with this, of course, Evan. They do say you want to change out the element in here once a year. They are very cheap. They're not that expensive. In fact, I've got, here it is right here. So I bought I think it's a 2-pack, right? So yeah, there's the piece that goes inside there. Basically, the water trickles down through that. The air goes through it. And yeah, I forget which way. I think it's coming this way through here from here. It's going back into this, if I remember correctly, how that's working there. My supply line is over on this side here, and this is my drain here. When I mounted this up, and I should have mounted it up just a little bit higher there. I'm a little tight on my drain. There was already an existing hole in here, so I just put it where the existing hole was, and I probably shouldn't have done that. But oh well, hindsight, 50-50, right? One thing you want to make sure you do, of course, with this as well, one is make sure the blower on your furnace turns on when you need to run your humidifier. I know my cousin, he had one of these installed on his furnace when he bought the house, apparently. I don't know if it's the exact same model, but whoever set it up for him did not have it set up properly so that the blower came on. So the humidifier would turn on, everyone. But guess what? If your humidifier turns on and there's no blower going, unless of course your humidifier has a built-in blower, it's not going to do any good. So just something to make note of there. And then for wiring, everyone, here's my blue wire. I'm using the blue wire that's coming off the thermostat here. That goes up into the humidifier here. So the thermostat of them will kick the blower on and the humidifier on as needed. I've got it set so it will run just the humidifier and blower if needed. Otherwise, it will try to run both the heat blower and the humidifier. That apparently, Evan, is the best way to do it. Of course, if you're having heat, hotter air can hold more humidity, right? Speaking of which, by the way, Evan, another kind of advantage to this as well, and you can think about this probably more in the summertime, everyone, but if your air is more humid in the summer, what does it feel like? The air feels hotter, right? Well, in the wintertime, I'm kind of the same concept, right? If the air is drier, it feels cooler. Well, guess what? If you add more humidity to your air, it's not necessarily warmer, everyone, but it does actually feel warmer, right? So kind of a little extra added benefit with this system here. And again, like I said, with that being said, I've been very happy with this. This is an old furnace, in case folks can't tell. I forget what, Williams? I think it's a Williams furnace or something like that. This thing's older than I am, basically older than my parents. Well, actually probably about the same age as my parents are. So this thing is ancient, everyone. No offense to anyone old watching. Anyway, so yeah, this thing's ancient, Evan. And yes, I am running this on this furnace with no problems. I did make some modifications, and I've got some videos on that in case those you wonder. I've got a whole video on the installation for this, as well as the modifications I made here to make this furnace work on my smart thermostat here. I'll try to remember to put a link to them here so you folks can watch those in case you're curious here, but definitely been very, very happy with those upgrades. I've got a relay in here that controls the blower, so that way the thermostat can control the blower, and it can turn the blower on and off as needed. That's what that box there is for. And then of course the rest of it's just your basic, heat on off. There's no air conditioning on this one, unfortunately. Maybe at some point there will be, but for now, just heat and humidity. I do actually also have a dehumidifier as well, but I don't have that hooked up to the furnace. That's just an Aprilaire dehumidifier. I've been really happy with that as well, just as a side note. So with that, everyone, thanks for watching. If folks have any comments or questions about this, be sure to leave them down below. And yeah, I just wanted to say I've been very, very happy with my Aprilaire humidifier. Again, this is the Aprilaire 500M model here. Maybe one more thing to note here before I wrap it up too. A lot of water comes out of that. I did actually end up adjusting my valve for this. I've got it turned down just a little bit. Otherwise, you've got a lot of water going down the drain with that. So I've turned it down a little bit. Just got to be careful with that. If you turn it down too much, then you really reduce the effectiveness of this. So don't turn it down too much. But at the same time, I did turn it down a little bit so it's not running as much water, because otherwise the first night I had this hooked up, I didn't have the drain set up, so I just put a 5-gallon bucket under it. I went back and checked it like 2 hours later, and the 5-gallon bucket was full. I'm like, okay then, well, better get that drain set up post haste. So, well, I guess the 5-gallon bucket wasn't quite full. It was like maybe 3-4 gallons in it, but it was filling up quickly, right? So just something to make note of there. Anyway, again, if you folks have any comments or questions, additions to add to this, let me know. Throw them down in the comments, everyone. Like I said, highly recommend. If you have low humidities in your house, look into getting something like this. They're not that expensive, everyone. When I got this too, by the way, I was not able to get the installation kit. They offer, obviously, the unit itself, and then they offer an installation kit. I would highly recommend getting that. Unfortunately, they were back ordered at the time I got this, so I just went out and bought all the components separately. You can do that as well. I don't think there's really much of a cost savings on that. I'm just, again, I couldn't get the installation unit at the time because they were back ordered, so that's what I did. I just did it all from parts and pieces here. So again, thanks for watching, and until next time.